everyone, welcome back to Max and Ben Talk Hockey, presented by Axel Watches. Today, we're going to be interviewing forward Jackson Blake from the Chicago Steel. He put up 17 points in 25 games this season as he went on to win the Clark Cup as USHL champions with the Chicago Steel. But before we get to the interview, we have a new sponsor to announce. Axel Watches will be partnering up with us as our new sponsors. Axel Watches is a top watch company in Canada and in the USA. Each watch is made from premium quality materials, and they are designed to last time. Additionally, shipping is totally free, whether you're in Canada or in the US. Use promo code AX_MaxandBen to get 15% off any purchase. Now, back to the interview. All right. So, first thing that we're going to talk about is you being drafted in the 4th round by the Carolina Hurricanes this past season. How did it feel when your name was called by the Hurricanes franchise?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty cool to see your name up there on the draft board, something you work for your whole entire life, and to see my name, I had chills. And obviously, you don't really know where you're gonna go in the draft unless you're talking first overall, first round. But I honestly didn't know where I was going, and to see my name finally pop up there was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, obviously, being drafted anywhere is really special. In the 4th round, such a good round. There are a lot of good talents that come out of that round.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I also think Carolina is a good spot for me, and I'm honored to be selected by them.
Yeah, it's a nice warm place apart from Minnesota. So Carolina's a bit warmer than usual.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, Max, what's your next question?
Yeah, so obviously I can only assume that winning the Clark Cup was like probably one of the greatest moments in your career. But walk us through your season. How was it to win the Clark Cup with the Chicago Steel, and what are you looking forward to next year with University of North Dakota?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we had a really special group there in Chicago this year, and I knew we were going to go pretty far day one. Just everyone buys in. We had a lot of great players. We had a couple draft picks this year, so yeah, it was a good team. And yeah, winning the Clark Cup was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Not even in hockey, just in life. I mean, you work so hard for that the whole year, and yeah, it paid off in the end. And then yeah, so I'm actually going to be a senior in high school, so I'll go back to Chicago next year, and we'll have another good group over there, and looking to do the same exact thing we done last year. But then yeah, going to North Dakota, I mean, it's a great spot for me, I think. And obviously my dad went there, so it was pretty easy to make that choice and commit there. But I'm looking really forward to going there, and hopefully we can just keep on winning.
Yeah, that's the main goal of any hockey team. And sticking with the Steel, Max and I have interviewed fair share of our Steel players. So Ian Moore, Matt Coronado, Sean Farrell. What do you have to say about those guys? Like about their game, about their personality?
Oh my God, it's crazy. I actually lived with Coronado last year, so I got it all. I mean, he's the hardest worker I think I've ever seen, and he knows how to put the puck in the net. So it's crazy to see what that kid does. I mean, he sleeps like no guy I've ever seen, but when he's on the ice, he's definitely not sleeping. And then Sean Farrell, yeah. I mean, that kid sees the ice just as well as any other hockey player in the world. He knows one step ahead of every other USHL player this year, and that's why he put up 100 some points. And then Ian Moore, another great player, obviously a great guy too. I mean, he was definitely one of the best defensemen in the league this year, and that went to show of the numbers he put up and everything he did this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, hopefully you'll definitely be part of that group. That was a great group of players that won Clark Cup for sure. Max, your next point?
Yeah, so let's circle a little bit back to youth hockey. It's obviously, you're able to play 14U and 15U AAA. But growing up, what was like your favorite team, and were there any players you really like to watch and like model yourself after?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was growing up, I grew up in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and I loved to watch Patrick Kane. I mean, I tried to do everything that guy tried to do, whether it was stick handling, putting it through guys' sticks. I mean, it's crazy what he does and things he still does at his age. And yeah, I mean, just looking up to him was was pretty cool. I mean, you'd want to go back in your backyard. I was fortunate enough to have a sport court, so I just go back there and just stick handle and work on moves that he did. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Max and I were both goalies, so I'm out of my game after Henrik Lundqvist, Rangers fan. Max Tukarask, obviously, Boston fan. Yeah. Next point is you describe yourself as a playmaker. Why do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, I for sure describe myself as a playmaker. I love to get the puck to other guys and like to make the right play. I also like to score goals. Obviously, I think every kid likes to score goals, but yeah, I definitely describe myself as a playmaker.
Yeah, that's really important. Obviously, you need other people to score as well as yourself. That makes the whole team run, especially passing, assists are more important than goals. Any coach will tell you that. Yeah. Max, what's your next point?
Yeah, so going into next year with a little bit more experience, obviously you got your rookie year down, and you had a pretty solid season. What do you look at? What do you like? Any specific goals you're looking to accomplish next year with Chicago?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the winning side, obviously, we want to go back to where we were last year, but I just feel like it was such a great opportunity this year to have those great players, like I said, Sean Farrell, Matthew Coronado, Sam Waskevich, Stoner. I mean, all those guys to look up to, and you're with them every single day for 4 to 5 hours. So that was definitely special. So I mean, I feel like I learned a lot from them. So I'm gonna kind of do what they did last year and try to put it into my game this year, whether it's scoring or um making plays. But yeah, I don't really have any like number stats goals, but I just want to win again, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. Um, Next point is you committed to University of North Dakota. Why did you choose North Dakota in particular, and what do you think you're going to accomplish there while you're playing hockey?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it was pretty easy. Like I said earlier, my dad got the opportunity to play there, so that made it really easy. I feel like growing up, I always wanted to go there. I would go up there a couple times a year maybe and watch some games, and always go in the locker room and stuff and see the guys, and kind of just made me feel like it was a good spot for me and kind of felt like home even when I was 10 years old, 11 years old. So yeah, I'm excited to go there, and hopefully, like I said, I love winning. I don't know anyone who doesn't like to win. So I mean, winning a national championship would be pretty cool, and hopefully, I can just put up good numbers and do whatever I can for the team.
Yep, of course. That's a very important part. Another follow-up question: are you thinking about what you're going to major at North Dakota? I know they're good academically as well.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it yet. I definitely have thought about majoring in business there, so that's probably my main one right now. But still got another year to think about it. Maybe even some more time after that. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, business is a great major. A lot of hockey players that we know go when either in a business or economics. One guy that we interviewed actually, he goes to Harvard. He's I think he's in some kind of science thing. Max, you remember Nick Abruzzese? I forgot what he majored in, but he majored in like bio something.
I know someone else did restaurant management or something.
Restaurant management. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't normally go from hockey player to restaurant manager, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, Max, what's your next talk point?
Yeah. So this year, we played for Chicago and high school. So how hard is it trying to balance, USHL, high school, and academics on top of that?
yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously, with this crazy era of all online school, you miss going to high school with your buddies and all your teammates. But yeah, so I started the year off in Chicago, not knowing I was going to go back and play high school in Eden Prairie. But I went back after like 20 some games and had a good junior year here, and we actually won the state tournament. So I got to win two championships in one year, pretty special. And then going back to the USHL, it definitely wasn't easy. I mean, switching from high school to USHL, it's a pretty big difference of pace. And obviously I got to go back and play with the guys like Sean Farrell, Matthew Coronado, those guys. So made it a lot easier on me. But like you said, the academic part, it wasn't easy for me as long as no other guy on my team. I mean, we were at the rink 6 hours a day. So it's really hard to fit in the academics, but we got the job done.
Yeah, how does academics work in the USHL? Did they enroll you into a school in Chicago, or did you go over like Zoom lessons back in Eden Prairie?
Yeah, that's actually what I did. I did the Zoom lessons in Eden Prairie. I thought that would be the best for me. So I just go to the rink for practice and then work out after practice. But the guys who weren't in school would work out before practice. So yeah, I mean, and then you could enroll in a school in Chicago down there. So I went with the Eden Prairie path though.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, it's like just stick with the same teachers, same people. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is you being drafted 22nd overall in the 2019 USHL Futures Draft. When your name was called there by the Chicago Steel, what emotions were going through?
Yeah, so I was actually playing in a tournament in Philadelphia, World Selects, when that happened. So I honestly didn't know when I went. I figured I'd go after the game, but I had no clue where I was going to go. I didn't really talk to a whole lot of USHL teams, and I don't really remember talking to Chicago. But after I got drafted, after the game, they called me, and I talked to them, and I didn't really know a lot about the USHL. I was still pretty young, and I watched some videos on them, obviously, and then saw what they've done the last couple of years, and I was like, wow, that's a special program. I'm excited to get started with them.
Yeah, they've had a lot of great talent come out of there. I think they had like three or four first rounders come in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
great development program.
Yeah, they've done a good job the last couple of years.
Yeah, Max, what else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so in your playoff run with Chicago, you got a goal in the postseason. What was it like scoring your first postseason USHL goal? What was going on the bench after, and like how are you feeling?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a slump. I mean, it was a little bit of a slump. Obviously, not scoring till the last game of playoffs, but I mean that's kind of what I expected. I came back from high school. Just take every opportunity you get. I mean, don't expect too much from them, but yeah, definitely take every opportunity you get. And yeah, I was in the last game, actually, game 4 against Fargo, and I scored late in the second period, and I was so jacked. I mean, it was awesome, full of emotions. I mean, there's probably a couple thousand people there too. So just scoring in that capacity and that rink, I mean, it's pretty special. And I was jacked for sure.
What was like the difference scoring in the postseason, like the regular season? Like was like more electricity from like your bench and the team?
Oh yeah, for sure. You don't really care what the score is in playoffs. I mean, when you score, your bench is going crazy. But yeah, I mean, you still get excited. Obviously, me, I probably got a little too excited when I scored in the regular season, but it doesn't really matter for me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, scoring in the regular season, obviously your bench gets going, but it's nothing like scoring in the playoffs.
Yeah. My hockey team this past season, we won states for New Jersey. Yeah, and we were ramping up a team like 6-1, 7-1. And I mean, at that point, we should have stopped celebrating if it were the regular season, but it was the playoffs, so no one really cared.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, just take the W. Exactly. Just take it as it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Going back to your first USHL goal, not of the playoffs, but just in general. Like, walk us through the scenario, the play, how do you end up with the puck on your stick, and obviously the celebration afterwards.
Yeah, so I was actually in my first USHL game this year against Muskegon, and I think there was 18 goals scored in that game. So, I mean, there's a lot of goals, and I got the opportunity to play with Sean Farrell and Mackie Samuel-Scouch that game. So it was pretty pretty cool. But yeah, I think I gave Mackey a breakaway pass, and then he tried to deke the goalie, but then he poke checked him, and the puck kind of just landed right on my stick, and I just flipped it over him. And yeah, I mean, I was full of emotions when I scored that goal. I mean, I feel like it's good to get your first one out of the way as early as you can, and that's pretty much what I did. And I saw it a little too hard, like I said, but it was pretty cool to score that goal.
Yeah, it's all in good fun, of course. It's just
Yeah.
it's hockey. Yeah, Max. Next point. Next thought.
Yeah. So growing up, obviously you were selected in the futures draft, but growing up, were you like really like, I want to play juniors, or did you were kind of just like weighing it and hoping that the opportunities would come as you played?
Yeah, so I committed to North Dakota before the draft a couple months. So I kind of knew I wanted to play junior hockey somewhere in the United States, and I thought the USHL was always the league a lot of those guys played in. So yeah, I kind of looked at it that way, like, yeah, I want to play in the USHL one day.
Yeah. Did you ever think about going to the CHL and playing in like Ontario or Manitoba or somewhere?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you get drafted a year before in that league than you do in the USHL. So I didn't get drafted in that league, but I never really thought about playing in that league anyway. Like I said, I really wanted to play college hockey for North Dakota, and I wanted to play in the USHL. So
Yeah, I know someone whose really close friend played in I think the OHL, and his biggest regret was not being able to go to college because he couldn't make it to the NHL. So he couldn't
yeah,
make money that way. So obviously
yeah, I think
the college route is really important.
yeah, I think it's nice to have a backup plan too. If hockey obviously doesn't work out, then you have that college degree to help you out in life.
Exactly. Yeah. My next question is what advice would you give to an up and coming hockey player that is willing to take the next step but doesn't know where to start?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I was a young kid, I was fortunate to grow up around the rink, but I mean, everything I did when I was younger involved hockey. I mean, I always wanted to have rollerblades on. I always wanted to have a stick in my hand. I wanted to shoot as many pucks as I can and stick handle hours for hours every day. And I just feel like I tell them like if you're gonna want to be a hockey player, you're gonna have to do whatever it takes to become a good hockey player. And I feel like whether that's playing street hockey with your buddies in the summer, or playing pond in the winter, or shooting pucks, uh, like all the good stuff, all the fun stuff, but it goes by fast for sure. And yeah, that's probably what I tell them. Just always do something that involves hockey.
Yeah, that's definitely important. I recently stopped playing hockey, but I row for like my high school, and that's all that my coaches say. Just focus on rowing; you'll be good. Just
Yeah,
the amount of effort you put in is what you get out of the sport.
for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Max, what's your next question?
Yeah, so obviously Carolina is a little bit of a young team, but they're definitely showing more and more potential every year. Is there any player you're really excited to when you get over there play with and practice with?
Oh, I know. There's a lot of good young talent on that team right now. A lot of skill, and they've had some pretty good runs these last few years in the playoffs, but came up short. But yeah, I mean, like Sebastian Aho, Svechnikov, he played for Muskegon, so having a guy who played in the USHL is pretty cool. And I like Dougie Hamilton. Obviously, he's not on their team anymore, but yeah, I just say Aho and Svechnikov. Those two are so special. They have so much talent, and you can just tell they love to be at the rink every day and love to win. So definitely those two.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially Carolina. It's a really nice place. I've been there once, at least down in North Carolina. People are great there. Are you excited about hopefully getting your first call to go to camp there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have a camp this year, but next year when we have a camp, it'll be pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what's down there and what to do.
Yeah, definitely. And Max, what is your next question?
Yeah, so I saw like a video of you and funny couple funny questions, but it said that you were a pretty big fan of The Bachelor. What have you been doing during your downtime? Is there any other shows you picked up, and like what have you been doing during the off season?
Uh, yeah, our team would watch The Bachelor last year. We didn't watch it this year, but we did watch it last year. But yeah, I'm a huge Outer Banks guy. I've seen season one probably 4 times. Season two, I've already watched it twice. So definitely Outer Banks is a big one. I got into All American during quarantine, but never really watched a whole lot of it. But I don't really watch a lot of shows. I like to play golf and go on the lake. So Outer Banks is probably my biggest show that I've watched.
Yeah, I'm still watching All American season 3, but as soon as I'm done with that, Outer Banks season 2 is gonna be on Netflix.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good one.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character from Outer Banks?
I like JJ. I like the way he acts. I like the way he does his stuff. So probably JJ for sure.
Yeah, Max, you?
Probably John B. Yeah, he's funny and he's kind of like spontaneous. JJ is too, but I go John B.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go Pope. He's the voice of reason in like every situation.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Whenever John B and JJ are doing something crazy, he's like, "How about we dial it down a bit and not do it, or we do it to a less of an extent?" And like that's you always need a friend that's like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Another thing. So not with shows, but with movies. Are you watching any movies recently? Are there any good ones that you've watched?
I honestly haven't really. I can't even think of the last movie I watched. Not gonna lie. Yeah, not a big movie guy for sure.
Yeah, I think the last movie I watched was around like 2 weeks, 1 week ago. I it was Rush Hour 2. That's a really funny movie from the early 2000s. So it was fun to watch that.
Actually, I watched Super Bad like a couple weeks ago. I mean, that's a classic. That's a good one. So
Nice, Max. What about you? You watch any cool good movies?
Not, I'm more of a TV show guy. I've been like binging watching Netflix all off season, but yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so let's change the topic from movies to food. So, what's your favorite pregame meal, and what's your favorite meal in general? Just to have like favorite food.
so our billet mom would always cook up something good usually, or she'd get pasta. But before the games, I like to have pasta with a little chicken, and I feel like that's pretty typical for a hockey player. Even my dad had that when he played. So that was my pregame meal, and just away from the rink, I love to go to Chipotle, whether it's after a skate or just after 18 holes. Chipotle is always good, and you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, I'm a Chipotle over Qdoba guy. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah. Max, what about you? Same question applies.
I go with Wendy's. Their burgers are pretty good, but yeah.
Yeah. For me, favorite food, Chipotle probably favorite fast food, definitely. Always like getting one of their salad bowls. In terms of favorite food, either like pizza or something like sushi or something like that.
Yeah,
Obviously, you can't go wrong with pizza, especially in the town I live. There are around 100 pizzerias in like 1 square mile. You pack it all in. Very Italian town, so can't go wrong there. All right, Max, what's your next question?
Yeah. So I saw also in that video about Bachelor. You said that if you could pick any two line mates, you'd pick Matthews and McDavid. Um, if you could pick any two defensemen to be on the blue line behind you, who would you pick, and what's the reason behind that?
I think I'd go with Roman Yossi and Kale McCarr. Those two together would be dangerous, and especially to even play with them. They're so skilled and they always make the right play. You watch McKinnon and McCarr play together, and it's like there's only two guys out there, and they're playing 2-on-5, and they just make it look so easy. And Roman Yossi, obviously, he sees the ice so well, and he's so calm and patient out there. It's fun to watch those two for sure.
Yeah, I get really excited whenever I watch Nashville Predators games, because like hockey is a bit crazy of a sport. You got people running around on skates, aka night shoes, like with a carbon fiber stick and not that much protection, honestly. And then you get Roman Yossi when he gets the puck. He's just so calm with the puck, like just he's like, I'm gonna take my time. No one's gonna bother me. I know what the right move is. I can see the ice better than everyone, and that's how I get the points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And sticking with that theme of create your lineup, who would be the ideal goalie to backstop your team?
I mean, it's pretty hard not to take Andre Vasilevsky after watching him, what he's done these last few years, even in the playoffs. I mean, Carey Price is another good one, Marc-Andre Fleury, but I think Vasilevsky's the best goalie in hockey right now, and I think he'd be a good goalie for my team.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he was snubbed for the Vezina. Definitely should not be Fleury. I mean, you guys can argue, but Fleury didn't really do that much in the playoffs, especially against Montreal. So that's my case.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good case. Nothing you
Yeah.
can do now, but I think that's a good case for sure.
Yeah. All right. Max, what is our last question?
Yeah. So my last question is, off season, have you been doing any workouts and like, or have you been kind of like trying to keep it like kind of low key, like trying not to get any injuries or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I've been working around 4 times a week. So I took a little break when I got home from Chicago early summer. I took like a 2-week break, and then I actually just had surgery because I broke my ankle last year. So I haven't worked out the last 3-4 days, but I've been working out pretty hard this year. I'm obviously not the biggest guy, like weighing in at 155. So trying to gain some weight this summer will help me for sure for next year.
Yeah, I've been doing the same, especially for our rowing team. Our coaches are really big on working out. I also weigh in at 155. So I'm like trying to stay at that weight and not go over 160 because my coaches don't really want me doing that. I actually pulled my back really, really badly. I think like 2 months ago or something, and it took I think about 1 month for it to fully heal. So it sucked not being able to work out for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. It's just I've had back pain since I started rowing, but like physical therapy's helped a lot. The coaches are really good with it, so it works.
It's good.
Yeah, that is gonna do it for this episode of Max and Ben Talk Hockey presented by Axel Watches. Jackson, thanks so much for hopping on. This was awesome.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, no problem. Good luck with your season next year in University of North Dakota.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good one.
Thank you. See ya.